Today we're going to do a pull down staircase. Here's the one that we got, just a standard wood one. They make some with the aluminum sides, they make some with a single stair that's going to pull down, all different sizes. This is the one I just got in the store. 8 foot to 10 foot ceilings, so you can customize it by basically cutting the bottom off the wood, and it's going to meet the floor to the height that you need. So we're getting ready to put it in. It has some basic instructions here at the back, but we're guys, we don't read that. Yeah, I read it. Okay, so what'll happen is, this is the staircase right here. They say it weighs about 60 pounds or so make sure you have 2 people when you lift it. This wood siding right here is going to get screwed into the side of the frame that we have built up here. I'm going to use 2-inch screws. Make sure you don't use screws that are too long, that are going to go through the 2x4 and not have any threads left. So 2-inch screw is pretty good. This is about 3/4 inch piece of wood. That'll give you about 1.25 inches into the wood frame up top. So what they say to do is, this is my first one, and we're going to see how successful it is today. We put a block of wood here, a block of wood up here. It has a lip on it. So you take the staircase orientation, make sure you have the right direction on it. Put the hinge side, we're going to put the hinge side towards the back. 2 people will lift it up, set it in place. 1 person's going to be in the attic and put the shims around it. Make sure that you keep all these sides nice and straight. So if there's a little bit of gap in here between this and the frame, make sure you don't put the screws and start warping this board a little bit. Okay? Use a few shims, which, if you have a shim bucket like I use for my doors, there's your basic shim right here. So what I'll do is I'll put this down in between here to make up the space and then screw into the side of it. Okay? So that's about it. So this is our first door to ever put in. And let's get the door put in. We're getting the ladder put in. There's the help, because you don't want to lift anything heavy. He's going to take it and mount it on that front board right there and on this back board right here.
On the set and on the back board first, right?
Either way that's easy. You got to bring it all the way up and then it sets on the board. So it has to come all the way through the opening. It's a 2-person job, or do you want to try to do it?
I'm going to do it.
Okay. We're also recording this for insurance purposes, yes. I guess I could help. Okay, get that part on there and get that one on there, and that's it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to center it up, and then I'm going to screw in and make sure these gaps right here stay even along the side. So that's what we're going to put in. Okay, thanks. Okay, staircase is in. We have temporary screws in the corners, and we're going to take this thing down so we could finish putting everything together. You ready? Okay. When I opened the box, it came with all these screws. Isn't that cool? I'm not going to use any of them. That's pretty cool. I don't want to fall. I don't want to fall. Hold on.
Twist it, I'll jump and grab it.
Got it?
I got it.
Okay, go ahead.
Dang, that thing's strong.
That one's strong?
Yeah.
Perfect. Here you go. This is where I get to watch you try to cut that zip tie with a dull knife.
Oh, man.
That's working good. That's awesome. Try 4. Try 5.
Jeez. On the side of the blade?
What?
On both sides are destroyed.
Well, throw the blade away. No, only the tip is destroyed on those because I've been cutting backward. Oh, 6 times is a charm. Okay, so what's going to happen is you're going to put the stairs down and they're going to be too tall. We have to cut the bottom off to make it meet the door. Okay, I'm not coming down for a couple of years.
Pretty much you just take the entire lower section and just take off. Like these hinges are, you just take that off and just swing down.
Well, I'm going to come down. And, man, that would make a good race car ramp. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to come down and then we're going to measure it. Do you have the tape measure?
Someone get right.
Okay. So measure how long the lower section is. The lower section. No, I'm sorry, the middle section. Because we want to see if we remove the lower section if it's going to hit the ground. So how long is that?
45 inches.
Okay, now measure, see this angle right here at the same angle and see if 45 inches is going to hit the ground. Okay, so where's the bottom of that start?
4 feet.
Okay, so go another 45 inches, which will be 45 off of the 48. Go ahead. You're going to go to 96, or you can just measure 45 inches. There you go. And it probably won't hit.
No, you're about 60, 61, 62-ish.
61, 62?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll come down and we'll adjust stairs. So we got the pull down staircase in. Now we just went up top. I used some of those little shims right there. And you see some of the securing they have you do is to make sure you put a screw through this bracket right here and one in the top of the bracket. And there's also screws in the back brackets right there that I put in. Now I sunk in some heavy duty deck screws. They also came with screws, and you can see I also peppered it with some screws right there, screw there, got that done, some more screws there, screws in the top. I just put them all the way around. But the main part that's supporting you is going to be these metal plates right here, so make sure you put nice long heavy duty screws in them. I use a 2.5 inch here, and on the other side I use the 3-inch screw, 2.5 inch there. The reason I use 2.5 is because there's no space up here. It was right up against this board. Okay, the 3-inch that we had to use, as you can see right here, it's a longer screw, but you see, I don't know if you can see, I hope you can, there's no threads right in there. And that's what allowed us to get make it slip out here and pull this in to make it nice and tight. Okay, let's look at the bottom, see what we did about cutting it. There's how many steps did we keep? Well, I don't know if it matters how many steps I kept. There's the steps that we cut off right there. Now these steps have these little metal bars that go through to take them apart right here. Might be worth it to take these two off and throw them back up in the attic, and in case anything breaks, I'll have a couple extra steps. This is an 8-foot ceiling. So with an 8-foot ceiling, we went ahead and cut this side right here at 60 inches. And then we cut it level right there, hit it with a Sawzall, not real pretty right now. We'll clean it up. It's a little bit long, and you can tell because this gap right here is not quite met flat. It's pretty close to flat, but you could tell when you put it down. And also, when you lift it up, you'll see the bottom catches? Okay, that tells me that it's just a little bit long. But what we don't want to do is I don't want to cut it off and make it all perfect and then add on these little rubber bottoms right here until we have the flooring in, because the flooring is going to change the thickness, the flooring is going to change the distance to where to cut the ladder off. So we're going to wait until the flooring's in. These are the screws it came with. You know, these were the screws that they wanted me to put in. I didn't have a hex end to put it in. Let's see. This was the screw that I used. Now, it's a little bit bigger screw right here. This is a deck screw. These things are not going anywhere. I like to use them because they have the hex, or not the hex end, the star end, and they work real easy on my gun. The thing is about these right here, they look like a cheap Chinese screw, and they don't have a lot of ferrite in them, maybe, because they don't seem like a good metal screw. You know how you get those ones for curtain rods or something, and you put them in and they just kind of strip out the back on you because they're really, really cheap screws. These right here I know are good quality steel screws because I paid way too much money for them. These screws right here, these are the extra ones to go around the edges, and you can see the screws that I used are even better than those. And again, these have those Phillips, and this is such a light screw, it just feels like a feather, you know, compared to this screw, which is a lot heavier duty. So I would recommend going to get a good quality screw to hold this thing up, especially when you have people that, you know, family and people going up and down, they rely on the work that you did. Okay, so that's about it for the pull down staircase. Thanks for watching.